Hi students, in the previous class we discussing about simple parallel circuits, and even we solved how to solve the circuit using the method of vectors. Today we will go for another solution, that is the operator J. That is, here in this case we are using complex number method in order to solve the parallel circuits, because here the circuit consists of R, L, C components, right? So before going to start with the problem, actually we'll have some basics about the complex number. The complex number will be usually expressed in the form of A plus IB, whose magnitude will be under root of A square plus B square, that is real part square plus imaginary part square, and the angle will be tan inverse of B by A, that is tan inverse of imaginary part divided by real part. And if we are going to express that in a graph, right, so usually the x-axis represent real axis and y-axis represent imaginary axis, right? So here the given complex number is A plus IB, hence along x-axis it is with the magnitude of A, and along y-axis it will be B, hence the point will be A plus IB, right? So if you are going to draw the resultant, that will be the Z, because according to Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse is equals to under root of adjacent square plus opposite square, that is under root of A square plus B square, and phi will be tan phi will be opposite by adjacent B by A, or phi is equals to tan inverse of B by A. And if you are going to represent that complex numbers with real numbers, then we can write A is equals to Z cos phi, because see phi here, if you are going to write cos phi will be A by Z, adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Here adjacent is A by Z, and similarly sin phi will be opposite by hypotenuse, hence it is B by Z. Therefore I can write A is equals to Z cos phi and B is equals to Z sin phi. With these basics, now we will solve the previous circuit using complex number method, right? So let me calculate the value of Z1 plus Z1 first, right? So what is Z1? Z1 is nothing but impedance of first branch, which consists of only the resistor R1, right? So hence, as there is no inductance and capacitance terms, hence there will be no imaginary terms. Hence I can write Z1 as only R plus J0. As there is no inductance and capacitance terms, it will be J0, right? So R plus J0 you have written in a Cartesian form, right? So if you want, you can write that in a polar form as R1 plus angle 0, right? So which is nothing but R1 cos 0 plus JR1 sin 0, because we know that we can write A plus IB as cis theta, that is cos theta plus I sin theta, which is nothing but R1 cos 0 plus JR1 sin 0. Hence I1 is equals to E by Z1, or we can write it as E divided by R1 angle 0, right? So it will be E by R1. If you bring this to numerator, it will be minus 0. It doesn't give any meaning, minus 0 and plus 0. You will get it as E R1 angle 0. This angle 0 indicates both current and voltage are in phase, right? So I1 is in phase because it is flowing through the pure resistive circuit, right? So similarly we will go for second branch, that is R2 and L. Here it consists of a inductance term, right? So let me write the value of Z2, right? So what is Z2 here? Z2 is equals to R2 plus JX2. Why plus? Because it is inductance, pure inductance, right? So if you write that in a polar form, it will be magnitude of Z2 angle phi 2, where magnitude of Z2 is what? We know that if it is A plus IB, then under root of A square plus B square will be magnitude. If it is R2 plus JX2, then magnitude will be under root of R2 square plus X2 square. Similarly, phi 2 is tan inverse of X2 divided by R2. Then I can write the value of phi 2 as E by Z2, that is E divided by magnitude of Z2 angle phi 2. Or if you want to write term by term, it will be what? E by Z2, right? So the angle which is in the denominator, if you bring that to the numerator, as I already told, it will becomes minus, right? So here it is plus phi 2. If you bring that to numerator, this will becomes what? Minus phi 2, right? So this minus sign indicates the current is lagging with respect to voltage, and we know that in case of any inductance or inductive reactance dominant circuit, the current will be always lagging, right? So if you want to write that in terms of cis theta or cos theta plus I sin theta, then I can write it as magnitude E by Z2 cos of minus phi 2 plus j E by Z2 sin of minus phi 2, or which is nothing but E by Z2 cos phi 2 and E by Z2 sin phi 2, and this minus sign will comes to here, right? Because we know that cos of minus theta is cos theta and sin of minus theta will be minus sin theta, right? I hope it is clear. Now we will go for third branch, that is which consists of R3 and C, right? So now we will calculate Z3, right? So what is Z3 here? Z3 is nothing but R3 minus JX3, minus because it is a capacitance circuit, right? So if you want to write that in a polar form, that will be Z3 minus phi 3. Again the magnitude will be under root of R3 square plus X3 square, and phi 3 will be tan inverse of imaginary part divided by real part minus X3 divided by R3. Therefore I3 is equals to E by Z3, that is E divided by magnitude of Z3 angle minus phi 3, right? So if you bring that angle to the numerator, you will get it at E by Z3 angle plus phi 3. Here plus phi 3 indicates the current is leading, and even we know that as it is a capacitive reactance dominating circuit, always the angle will be leading in this case, right? So similarly, if you want to write that in cis form, then I3 will be E by Z3 cos phi 3 plus E by Z3 sin phi 3, as already angle is positive. Then the total current will be what? I is equals to, applying KCL, current entering the branch, I leaving the branch, I1, I2, I3, that is I is equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3, that is add all real parts and add all imaginary parts. What are the real parts here? In the first case it is E by Z1, in the second case it is E by Z2 cos phi 2, in the third case it is E by Z3 cos phi 3 plus j, add all the imaginary part. There is no imaginary part in the first case, right? So because it is pure resistance circuit, and in the second case it is minus E by Z2 sin phi 2, and in the third case it is plus j E by Z3 sin phi 3, right? So you will get it as Ix plus or minus j Iy, and resultant will be under root of real part square plus imaginary part square, and angle will be tan inverse of imaginary divided by real part, and whatever you will get, that will be the magnitude, right? So we'll solve one problem on this, then you will come to know what actually the vector or J method, how to solve the parallel circuits, right? So remaining thing we will discuss in the next class.